long time in getting there. And then nothing really happened when I got there anyway. And there's the most recent one. Some of them are stories, some of them are more encyclopedic, more informative. This is one of the latter. We're going to talk about Symposium Post-Mysticism. This is the most recent one. And specifically, we're going to talk about what we learned from this particular book. Because there was some unexpected stuff, a whole lot of unexpected stuff in this. This is Office Statement Wild World, I assume. Yep. Okay. All right. So, if there's one thing that came out of Symposium Mysticism, post-mysticism, it's that. This is what Byakuya and Miko do. They are basically, they've replaced Kaguya and Loco as the new Tom and Jerry. They loathe each other. Because Byakuya basically gave up her humanity and arguably betrayed humanity and turned to yokai side. And then Miko had been practicing Buddhism like Byakuya had actually been practicing Buddhism. She'd been practicing Buddhism only in public and actually been practicing Taoism in private. And so Byakuya is very pro-yokai and Miko is very pro-human, and they just don't get along. And hilarious hijinks ensue. Alright. So, first thing we learned is that nobody likes Hina. Hina Kageyama is this curse doll, basically. She just collects a whole bunch of curses. And anyone that gets near her kind of feels the effects of those curses. You're supposed to gather them to get rid of them, but just getting near her makes you feel the effect of them, so no one wants anything to do with her. Not even Aki, she hasn't been very long with Hina. Alright, we learned that Kogasa's Mary Poppins. This was an actual thing. Like, he actually made that, the list of Mary Poppins reference there. I can't even see the screen from over here, so I should say. Yeah, and she babysits kids in the human village. She kind of is annoyed by it, but she realizes she's really good at it. She's just like, I might as well. And yeah, she does say it's the job of a babysitter to fly through the sky using an umbrella.
She is the umbrella.
Yeah, so Aki was definitely paranoid of spiders. This is Yamane Kuronani. She's really cute, but somehow death incarnate at the same time. She's the only character in this book to get a very low human friendship level. Because basically what you do is you go underground and she's pretty much seeping poisons and toxins into the air at all times because she's the spider of the seas. But she's still cuter than most of the rest of the cast. We learned nothing whatsoever about Utsuho because we got an unknown threat level and an unknown human friendship level, despite the fact that in the game, she was the first and so far still only final boss to actually pose a serious, legitimate homicidal threat to Mitsokyo because she wanted to blow up the surface world. She's from the underground and just wanted to nuke the entirety of the surface world because underground hates the surface world due to events past. Yeah. We learned that Zune absolutely loved the shonen character background stories. This is really how this worked out. Matt, stand up. Unsan dress. So yeah, Unsan was this really big, mean jerk, Cloud, and then Ishin was a human at the time. She came along and defeated him by surprising him, and now they're completely inseparable. And somewhere along the line, Ishin became a yokai as well. I'm not quite sure how that happened. I don't think it's ever really expanded upon.
And you said, if you live long enough, you become a yokai.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Happened with Marissa. And yeah.
Yeah, it may happen eventually. We learned rage quitting, very bad for you, so don't QQ. Thank you for your QQ. This is Koishiko Meiji. She's a Satori, which is a race of psychic yokai, and her sister is named Satori because I guess yokai don't have very creative naming techniques. Satori are generally really, really hated by not only humans but everyone because they have a passive ability to read minds, so...
Except animals.
Yeah, well, except animals. And Satori just kind of deals with it on a daily basis. Of course, she couldn't take it. So she closed her third eye, and now she doesn't have a conscience anymore. She just acts completely subconsciously. So Mima still isn't relevant, which is the most important thing to come out of this book. This is Sojiko the Tochiko. She's an evil spirit with a large green dress and ghost with legs, and she's actually appeared in a Windows game. And only 3 of those apply to Mima. Futo is an absolutely terrible friend, and in the process of the whole Taoist bit, where they were trying to become Shikai-sen, which is basically they're going to switch more or less bodies and souls with a particular artifact. Miko's was a sword, Futo's was a plate, I think Tochiko's was a jar. And Miko was the first one that really wanted to do this, but she was a little bit nervous about the process because it's very dangerous transferring your soul into another object and switching bodies and all that. So she asked Futo if she would do it first. And Futo's like, okay. And then halfway through, she chickens out and decides she doesn't want to do it anymore. So she switches her objects with Tochiko's, which ends up killing Tochiko. And Tojiko is like, it turns out she actually liked it. She enjoys being evil spirit. So it all worked out in the end, but for her, it was a big huge shark. And overall, Gensokyo's religious factions really are, they're a giant outward for this government. This is not even kidding. This is Kanako. She is the leader of the Moria Shrine. She's a shameless attention whore. She really doesn't care what's going on within Gensokyo as long as people pay attention to her.
Can she sing Russian perhaps?
Yes.
Yes. This is Suako Moria. She's old as dirt. No one ever sees her or knows where she is. And in Hiso Tensoku, she shot her shrine maiden in the face. This makes her Dick Cheney. This is Sho again. She acts very professional in public, but she's actually a really angry, vicious drunk. Yoshika Miyako, she's a brainless zombie, which basically makes her John McCain and Sarah Palin. This is Seigakaku. She wanders around Gensokyo, creating holes in human houses, human house walls, just to visit who's there. And if there's no one around, she dresses in the Santa costume and steals your stuff. So she looks really nice, but she comes around and invades your privacy, which basically makes her Patriot Act. And then, what movement would be complete without a whole bunch of racists? Nazu is a racist, she hates humans. Who else? Yeah, Byakuren, she's a racist, she hates humans. Urasa is a racist and a mass murderer. And she can also drown you while you take a shower, it's actually really neat. Nue is a racist, and she's made a centuries-long career out of tricking and deceiving everyone. Sanai is a racist, she's also a very trigger-happy religious zealot. And then there is me, Miko. I'm racist, I'm also greedy and power-hungry. She is the biggest slime ball you will ever see. It's so fantastic, I love her so much for it. And she's, because of her ability is to listen to 10 people at once, she's very effective at wiretapping. And when they were first meeting in Symposium Post-Mysticism, like the Kanako and Byakuren and Miko were basically meeting as the heads of the 3 major religious factions at the time. And basically the first thing Miko said was, I noticed there's no real ruling body within Gensokyo, and when I was still a guy, when I was Prince Shotoku, I was pretty good at ruling Japan, so not for nothing, but if you need someone, I guess I could volunteer. And then when the instant she found out that they were really she's like, oh, no, it's all right. I'm only volunteering, I don't really want to be supreme ruler or something, that's fine, that's fine. And then there were a whole bunch of other characters that don't matter, because the people like Kisame and Hatate and Iku and Tenchi just got like nothing, which is really disappointing for some of them.
Also note, I was kind of shocked when I realized this the other day, but, you know, Kaneko is the de facto leader of the Shinto faction in Gensokyo, which means Reimu is not quite as relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Despite being the main character.
Well, given how lazy she is.
Okay, so
yeah, Reimu's basically a beach bum.
The cover art was done by Stuffman. It's a lot of thanks to people. There's a whole bunch of Western fan artists. Fluffy Chainsaw did the Kogasa, and Leo Modesto did several of the other pictures. All the stuff that wasn't official art, all the stuff at the end, starting with Kaneko and going on, was official art. The rest of the stuff before that was Leo's. Alright. So, comics is fine.
Alright.
There.
For comics, there have been a number of them. We mentioned the series of comics that dealt with the Scarlet Devil Mansion, and then there was, as Soul likes to call it, Razor Tay Happy Punishment Time. With
that was the Inabas?
Yeah, that was the Inabas. Inaba of the Moon and Inaba of the Earth, which was a 4-panel comic. Since then, we have had a couple, a couple of others. There was Wildhorn Hermit, with a new character who we would like to know whether or not she is an Oni or not. And there was also, which one? Yes, which one? There are several. The most recent, oh yes, there was the 3 Dumb Fairies.
It's a comic about the fairies. They go around being stupid because fairies are stupid, and it's a really heart attack inducing cute slice of life kind of deal.
They're always trying to prank other people and have the tables turned on them.
Yeah, because they're too stupid to actually pull anything off.
They do show up in the game.
They do show up in the game, yes, they finally got in the game, but they weren't the main characters of the game.
And then most recently, we have Forbidden Scrollery, which is a brand new, as in, I think there's what, 4 volumes?
There's 4 volumes out.
4 volumes out. 2
chapters, not volumes.
Yeah, 4 chapters out, 2 of which have been translated already. You can find them on getsofio.org. And this deals with a new character that we have introduced, who is...
Suzumotori, I think it's
Because
like,
yes, there we are.
Suzumonogatari.
Yeah. Kazuzu Motori, whose ability is to be able to touch a book and understand it. Doesn't matter what language it is, doesn't matter what it's about, she can comprehend it just at a glance. Her job is that of a librarian, essentially. She collects rare and, dare I say, dangerous books. In the first couple chapters, we have seen her with books about yokai that have been forgotten. Now, Gensokyo exists in order to prevent this. The whole point of Gensokyo is it's where the magic, the yokai, the fairies, everything that's kind of fading from relevance goes in order to have a second chance.
Yeah, basically when people stop believing about things in the outside world, they get whisked away to this magical Japanese Neverland.
Like in one part, actually it pulls up information about the moon landing because so many people started to doubt it.
Yep.
Yes.
And there's also there was a radio tower that appeared in one of the later editions of Oriental Sanctuary. That one? Who think it was?
Yeah. So she collects these books, and what we've seen as far is just that she has them. She lends them out to Akio from time to time. Akio is the chronicler of Gensokyo. She's the one that wrote Symposium of Post-Mysticism, or is argued to have. And so we have Aremu,